Hey, hope everybody's doing good. Staying safe, keeping your 6 feet social distance, and washing your hands, wearing masks when needed. Today we're going to go over this probability concepts lesson. So we can go through these words. Probability is the likelihood of an event happening. The outcome is a possible result of an experiment. The event is the set of one or more outcomes. So like you'll say you've got a six-sider and it's labeled 1 through 6 on it. So there's an equal chance that any one of those numbers is going to show up. Each one of those, each time you roll it, that's a possible outcome, or that is an outcome, and then what number comes up is the result of that outcome. So if you describe the probabilities in words, if something definitely is going to happen, then it's certain. When an event is definitely not going to happen, then it's impossible. Then other ways are more likely than not, as likely as not, and unlikely. So if it's more likely than not, means that's a good chance that it could happen. As likely or not means it's pretty much 50-50, and unlikely means it's somewhere less than 50-50, less of a chance. So like if you got that six-sider up here, labeled 1 through 6, the chance, see the event, we're going to roll that dice, that the number comes up is somewhere less than 10. It's certainly going to happen because the numbers are just 1 through 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. If you think you can get a 7, that's impossible, unless you erase one of the numbers and put a 7 down in its place. There's an even chance of getting, just as likely as not, a 50-50 chance of getting an even number, because there's 3 even numbers, 2, 4, and 6, just like there's 3 odd numbers, 1, 3, and 5. More likely than not to get a factor of 12, because 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6, so 5 out of those 6 numbers are a factor of 12. And that number 5 or 6, it's pretty unlikely. There's only a 2 and 6, which can be reduced down to a 1 and 3 chance, so a 1/3 chance of getting either a 5 or a 6. And if the way that's worded with this number 5 or 6, either one of those is, it's 2 outcomes, but it's considered one event. Okay, let's see. How can we describe probability using numbers? So numbers between 0 and 1 describe probabilities. A 0 is impossible. 0 chance of it happening. If you think about it with percentages or with fractions, decimals, 0, it's not going to happen. A 1, 1.00 is the same as 100%, so that's definitely going to happen. A 1/2, that's the same thing as 0.5 or 50%, so it's just as likely to happen as it is to not happen. Just likely to not happen is to happen. Unlikely, the way they did this with the circles, only 1/4 of the circle is filled in. Half of this circle is filled in, 3/4 of this circle, and the whole circle. So like this would be a 25% chance, 50% chance, 75, 100% chance. Or this could be a 1/4, 1/2, 3/4, and 1. So when an event is impossible, like I said, it's 0. If it's equally likely, then it's got a 1/2. If it's certain, then it's 1, 100%. So somewhere between 0 and 1/2 or 0.5, it's unlikely. Somewhere between 1/2 or 0.5 and 1.0, more likely than not, or likely. Okay, so let's consider this experiment. A bag has got 24 marbles, 6 of green, 6 of red, 12 are blue. Lucy reaches into the bag and pulls out 1 marble. So, things we've got to consider. What is the total number of marbles? Well, it says right there, it is 24. says right there, 24. Half the total of marbles, 12. 12 times 2 is 24, so that's pretty straightforward. Name an event that's impossible. Well, it would be kind of impossible to pull out a marble that's not green, red, or blue, like purple or yellow or something like that. An event that is certain, you're definitely going to be picking out a marble. An event that is as likely as it is not. So as likely as not means it's that 50-50 chance. That it's just as likely as you're going to get one thing as you are going to get another. So half of the marbles are blue, so it's as likely as not that you're going to pick out a blue marble. Or that is more likely than not a marble that is blue or red, because half of the marbles are blue, so that would be 0.5, and a fourth of the marbles are red, that's 0.25, so there's a 3/4 or 0.75 chance of getting either a blue or a red marble. An event that is unlikely, pick a red marble, because there's only 6 that are red, whereas there are 18 that are green and blue. So there's only a 25% chance of getting that red marble. So we can also show that probability on a number line. So if we draw lines to each of the ones, let's see, let's go with this and that. So choosing a purple marble, that is impossible. And I wanted that. Choosing just getting a marble, you're going to get that. Choosing a blue marble, half of the marbles are blue, so it's a 50-50 chance. Choosing a green marble, that is down here because there's only a 25% chance of getting that. And choosing a blue or red, 75%, or when I say 18 out of the 24 are blue and red. Okay, let's see. Okay, so we're going to talk through these problems. Meteorologist, weatherman in Seattle, says there's a 75% chance of rain. A meteorologist in Tacoma says there's a 1/4 chance of rain, 1/4 chance of rain. In which city is it more likely to rain? Now, I don't know if you know this or not, but Seattle and Tacoma are really close together, almost like Mobile and Pritchard are really close together. Seattle's a little bit further north. Actually, Seattle is north of Tacoma. So in which city is it more likely to rain? Well, if we convert 75% into a fraction, 75%, like 75 cents, that's 3/4. The 3/4 would make 75 cents. And a meteorologist, the one in Tacoma, said there was a 1/4 chance of rain. Or you could convert it the other way. 1/4 is the same as 25%. So we got this possible answer. I know that 75% is 3/4, since 3/4 is greater than 1/4, and closer to 1, it's more likely to rain in Seattle. I'll leave that up. So Kelly said that because there are 4 equal-sized sections of the spinner below, the probability of the spinner landing on X is as likely as not. Now, if you remember, I said that as likely as not means it's an equal chance that it's going to do something or not do something. So if we look at this, there are 4 sections. All 4 of them are equal sized. So that means that there's an equal chance that it's going to land on each one, not on any one of them. I mean, not as likely as land on X as not. So out of the 4, let's say we've got this. There's a 1 out of 4 chance that it's going to land on X. 1 out of 4 chance. That's horrible. To land on Z, 1 out of 4 to land on W, and a 1 out of 4 chance. All of these are equal. Let's see, what does this say? Since each section is the same size, the probability of landing on any of the 4 is equally likely. Only one of the 4 sections has an X, so the spinner is unlikely to land on X. Right? This is 1/4 chance, a 25% chance that it's going to land on X, but there's a 3/4 chance it's going to land on something that's not X, or a 75% chance it's going to land on something that's not X. Okay, so we're going to describe these probabilities in words. 0, that would mean something is definitely not going to happen. Impossible. Now 7/8 is almost all the way up to 1. 8 over 8 would be 1, but this is 7/8, so it's almost. So that means it's more likely going to happen. Let's see. 1/3, that's kind of far away from the 1, which would be 3 out of 3. That's 2/3 away from being 100% certain. So that's going to be, let's see how I can do this. Yeah, it's going to be pretty unlikely it's going to happen. The 1 is the same as, if you write 1 as a decimal, it's 100. It's certain. It's 100% going to happen. And 1/2, it's just as likely as not. It's a 50-50 chance. It's like flipping a coin. Either it's going to be heads or tails. Only 2 choices. So let's see. Put it all together. So we're going to construct a spinner with the following characteristics. It's certain to land on blue, yellow, green, or red. So that means the only colors it can be are blue, yellow, green, or red. No other colors. Twice as likely to land on red than green. So that means that red has to be twice as big as green. But it also has to be equally likely to land on blue or green, so those 2 sections have to be the same size. It's more likely to land on yellow than to not land on yellow. That means that yellow is going to have to be a more than a 50% chance. So more than half of the spinner has to be represented by yellow. Let's see what this looks like. So we've got the blue and the green are equal. The red is twice the size of green, and there's more than, yellow takes up more than half. I'm going to split this up into 10. Okay, so I'm back. I went ahead and divided this up into 10 more or less equal spots. So the blue is 1/10, green is 1/10, red is 2/10, and yellow is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6/10. If you add all that up together, it all equals out to be 1. All right, so I'm going to call it an evening here, and I'm going to be posting this soon. I will be doing one more of these for another lesson. I believe it's experimental probability. I hope you all have a good night, and remember to do your work. Thanks. Good night.